Do you find yourself constantly eating to the point of feeling overstuffed and you're like, again, why? Or maybe you find yourself craving all these unhealthy foods and then eating them, and then again, you're like, why did I do that again? Or third option, maybe it's none of those and you're on a super strict diet and the weight is coming off so slowly or not at all. Or maybe you just want to have a better relationship with food because every time you eat, that little rude alien inside is telling you no and all sorts of rude things. So today's video is how to intuitively eat, why and how to do that, how to create a new relationship with food that does not involve any guilt or shame. Yes, it's totally possible. And how to lose weight without being on a diet. Yes, true life. Hey everyone, I am Victoria Rose. I am a certified face reader. What I do is a holistic approach to law of attraction coaching where I use your face, law of attraction, and energy medicine to help you get your dream life. Before I get started on the amazing topics in this video, if you enjoy my content, please subscribe, share with your friends, share with your mom, share with anyone who could utilize this topic. Before we talk about how to intuitively eat, I always like to look at the root of the problem if possible or if it's available at this time. So if you're eating and having any issues with your relationship to food, there is probably an emotional issue going on. Are you eating because you're hungry, or you're just eating because you're bored or you're sad? Maybe you don't even know what you're feeling, and if you don't, that's okay. I have a video on how to identify emotions, allow them, and get to the root of the problem, and that will be right here. So check that out if you need help on that topic. Maybe you grew up in a home where there was never enough food, and now that you have enough food, you keep eating it out of fear that there's not going to be enough food all of a sudden. All of these things are your subconscious trying to get that nurturing it didn't get in another aspect, and it's using food as its vessel to do that. So looking at the emotions is really important when you start to focus on your relationship with food, your weight, and your body image. It kind of reminds me of if you saw the Sex and the City, the first movie, when Samantha comes back from LA to New York and she has a crop top on and a little pudge and all of her friends are staring at her, and she said, "I eat so I don't cheat." Literally, emotional eating 101, Samantha Jones. So your reason for emotional eating might not be because you want to cheat on someone and you're stopping yourself with food. It could be from a childhood trauma or something along those lines. So starting this process by looking at what your thoughts around food are, what reasons you're actually eating, and how you approach eating. Are you doing it joyfully? Are you feeling guilt and shame every time you have to eat something that's not a piece of celery? Next order of business, do you trust yourself? Usually everyone says yes at first, but when they think about it, there's probably places in your life that you don't actually trust yourself. And using your intuition will always guide you in the right direction for you. So a quick story about when I did not use my intuition and actually got food poisoning. When I was 23 and I was in a new relationship, we went to Ghirardelli after work one day to get hot chocolate. They did not have any dairy-free chocolate or dairy-free milk, and at the time I was super lactose intolerant. But because I'm in a new relationship and I wanted to be cool, I said, yes, I can drink this whole milk. Everything's going to be fine. Despite the fact that I knew everything was not going to be fine. Like, I felt that. But because I was being so cute and cool, I was like, no, I'm going to drink this hot chocolate. It's fine. I drank the entire thing. Not even 30 minutes later, I start sweating, like sweating. And I started feeling like I was going to throw up. And you know, all the other signs of food poisoning, they were all present, all of them. And of course, we decided to go to the grocery store and get groceries right after this. So I am literally feeling the effects of stage 1 of food poisoning while I am surrounded by food. So I immediately go home, barf. I am so sick I cannot even go to work the next day. This is classic 101, avoiding your intuition when it comes to food. If I just listened to myself, I wouldn't be puking my guts out almost at Jewel. No. So, if you do not even know how to locate your intuition, do not worry. It is so easy, and you've probably already been utilizing it and you just don't know. So first, what you'll want to do is ask yourself a question that you would answer yes to, and see where that shows up in your body. Is it flashing the word yes in your mind? You just feel the word yes in your body. Is it in your chest, your hand, anywhere? And then do the same for a question that is always going to be no, and see how that presents itself too. That is your intuition. Every single person has it. Some people call it the Holy Spirit, the divine, whatever you want to call it. Just know that you have an internal guidance system to always tell you what to do and lead you in the right direction. So trust that, especially when you're eating. If you don't think you should eat something and that little siren is going off in your head, do not eat it. Obviously, the story I just told is a very severe scenario of that, but that can happen at any time. So, first order of business when it comes to intuitive eating, I only have 3 rules. 2 hard rules, 1 soft rule, because I hate rules, and especially when thinking of dieting and all of that stuff, having more restriction in this category is the opposite of what you want to do. So, first rule that I 100% am committed to is always eat joyously. I love eating. Whether it is kale or candy, I am always eating joyously. The thoughts that are running in my head, oh my gosh, this kale is so good. I'm so happy that it's nurturing my body. All of those things. And at this point, because I've been practicing this system for so long, that just happens for me. I feel so much gratitude towards what I'm eating and love towards it. And it's actually scientifically proven that when you're practicing gratitude and love towards something, it can change how it responds to you. So the opposite is also true. If you are constantly sitting there saying, ugh, freaking hate salad, why do I have to eat this salad? I just want to be skinny, or my doctor said I have to because high cholesterol or whatever is happening, don't do that. Put the fork down right away. 2 things. If you actually really hate what you're eating and never want to eat it again, then don't eat it again. Find a healthy replacement, or go eat a burger, or go eat something that would actually bring you joy, and see what is happening in your body and your mind as you're eating that thing, and then try to bring that into every single thing you're eating. This rule alone has been life-changing for me, because I used to be the person that was on a diet all the time. Like, all the time. I thought I had to be a certain weight and all of this stuff, and that just made me feel so miserable, and not enjoying food when it's such a big part of your everyday and even celebrations and culture is so devastating. This is literally how much I like food, that I felt devastated by that. So make sure you're eating joyously. If you're not, put down the food, give yourself some love, say I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry, and then try to switch to a mindset of gratitude, and then continue eating. And it will actually help. It helps like prevent stomach aches or stop stomach aches too for me. So kind of just be watching what your experience is with that. My second rule is to stop eating before I'm full. A lot of people eat overconsumption because, oh my gosh, there's cookies here. I'm gonna let myself have these cookies. So then they end up eating all the cookies because they're restricting themselves, and now they're gonna let themselves have it. So then they overindulge. When I was younger, when I was in high school, I really wanted to lose weight, and I put myself on the South Beach diet, and in the phase 1, which is the really strict diet, I stayed on for several months. Did not let myself have anything. It was terrible. I was just a mess mentally. So it was Halloween, and my little brothers went trick-or-treating, and I took a ton of their candy, and because I was just not allowing myself to eat, I ate 30 mini pieces of candy. Like, come on, Victoria. Now, since I'm allowing myself to eat whatever I want without restriction, I probably would have one and then be like, wow, I'm actually really full from this. Because when you're letting yourself have everything, you don't want anything. Does that make sense? When you're letting yourself have everything you could want, you don't actually feel that desperate desire. Oh, I have to have that because it's restricted. Nothing's restricted, so who cares? You could have it at any time. And then your body and your mind start to be like, oh, you know what? I could have that now, but I actually am going to eat an apple now because I don't really want to eat a Snickers. I wasn't eating Snickers, but yeah, definitely. So how you find out if you are eating right now and you don't even know what it feels like to be full, to stop eating before you feel full because you're just so used to eating until you're stuffed, an easy trick is to eat 50% of what's on your plate. Check in with yourself. Say, how am I feeling right now? See what's going on in your mind. See what's going on in your body. If you still feel like you're going to be hungry if you don't eat a little more, eat another 25%. So now you're at 75%. Stop eating at 75% no matter what, and say, I am so content and I'm so satisfied and I am full. Thank you for this meal. Just say that to yourself. And that will start to pave new neural pathways in your brain to notify you that you don't have to eat the whole meal to be full. A lot of people have limiting beliefs around this. They were taught you have to clean your plate, you can't get up from the table until you are done eating. Unsubscribe from those right now. Those beliefs no longer serve you. I am so committed to this rule that I will have 3 bites of food left on my plate because now I serve myself less food because I used to overstuff myself too. Wow. And I will have 3 bites of food left and put it in a little glass container and eat it later. It's always there. So, okay, if I'm hungry 3 hours later, I'm going to go eat those 3 bites. But I'm not emotionally eating them because I've already worked through the emotions of eating, and I only eat when I'm actually hungry and I know what that feels like in my body. So knowing what it feels like to be hungry, knowing what it feels like to be satisfied in your body, those will have to be tests that you give to yourself and kind of find out what that feels like for you if you're unaware at this moment. And then you'll be able to utilize that and stop eating to overconsumption. My third rule, and you can abide by this how you want, is to eat clean when you're at home. I eat super clean when I'm at home. And then when I go out, even if it's 4 nights in a row, I can eat and drink whatever I want. Yes. And not only am I eating and drinking whatever I want, I'm feeling so good about it too. There's no guilt and there's no shame involved. I don't think, oh my gosh, I just had 4 cocktails. I'm going to have to work out for 50,000 hours tomorrow. No. You don't want all of these thoughts to come in as you're eating because that also shuts down your body and brings in guilt and shame, negativity, and you want to be embodying positive emotions such as gratitude, joy, love while you're eating. I feel like I am in a relationship with food when I talking about all of this. I get excited thinking about food, even if it is lettuce. That's how in deep I am with this. And once you get to this place, you're like, wow, I did not even know it was possible to look at food this way because society has conditioned me, my parents, everything, myself, to think a certain way about food and how I have to look. But when you're eating this way, you are just living in such a state of peace of mind that food is not a crutch for you anymore. It is a resource to continue to promote health in your body and also to enjoy experiences with friends and family and yourself. If I have people over and I feel like serving alcohol, I will do that. That's fine. I usually am not making the healthiest thing when people come over. I try to make it as clean as possible, but you don't have to live so strictly by rules because that will trip you up a lot of the time when it comes to food. When you have cravings, eating with reckless abandon is not eating intuitively. So eating without restriction, while I don't have restriction on myself, I'm also not going out and eating a ton of candy all the time or eating 10 burgers in a week. There is moderation, but you don't have to look at it like moderation. Okay, so with cravings, a few things. If you have stomach issues such as IBS, Crohn's, colitis, any of those things, you might be experiencing cravings because the bacteria in your stomach is really off. So working with a specialist could really help you on that. However, I have found from my past experience with IBS that trusting my own intuition to guide me in this process and tell me what I actually needed, which was a lot of emotional work and some nutrients that my body was not getting, were actually what cured my IBS. I worked with a ton of doctors over several years and nothing was helping me. But then once I got to the emotional work, everything cleared up in 2 weeks. Like, please. However, I'm not putting down doctors' work because I know that it is really beneficial for people. So as long as you are trusting your intuition first and then finding the advice and the assistance you need, you will have results from that. Okay, so now if you don't have stomach issues and you do have cravings, look at the emotions that are behind those cravings. What are the thoughts happening? What are the stories that you're telling yourself? Is it your time of the month? A lot of people crave chocolate and sugar around their time of the month. However, modifying your diet the week before to include red meat if you eat meat, dark leafy greens, beets, anything to boost your blood at that time can really help cut down those cravings too. If you are craving, let's go back to chocolate. If you are craving chocolate all the time, maybe your body is deficient in magnesium. So kind of seeing what your body needs. And I wouldn't use chocolate as my best source of magnesium. I eat chocolate occasionally, and I used to crave it every single day. And I realized I was not getting enough magnesium. And also, in my family, there was always chocolate. So if I was feeling emotional, I would go and eat some chocolate. So once I made that correlation that, oh, you know what, I'm feeling emotional, maybe I actually just want to write in my journal or meditate or do yoga or go on a walk to deal with these emotions and process them instead of eating this food and then feeling guilty that I ate the food, and then it turns into a cycle. So you'll want to cut down on all of that. And then once you're nurturing your body in the correct way, you will notice that all of your cravings either minimize drastically or completely go away. I barely have any cravings anymore for probably the past 2 years. I don't even know the last time I craved something. Oh, this summer I did want cookies and I was feeling emotional and I wanted to eat them because I was feeling emotional. However, because I barely emotionally eat, I decided to let that be okay for me. So then when I was eating them, I just kept feeling, wow, these cookies are so good. I'm glad that I can nurture myself in this way. I know I usually don't eat like this when I'm feeling emotional, but this is exactly what I needed to do to feel better, and I did feel better. So if you do occasionally use food as a crutch, let that be okay for you. There's no right or fast way to go about this. You don't obviously want to be eating cookies every single day because that would not be healthy. The main goal here is to be aware of your emotions, nurture your body with the actual nutrients it needs, and feel joyful, grateful, and love whenever you are eating. The last topic, which is probably why you're still watching, is about weight. In face reading in Chinese medicine, weight is considered a buffer to pain. And people usually put on weight because they have difficult emotions that they are not ready to feel, or maybe they're not even aware of. So their body is trying to protect them by putting on a physical padding around them. It's like they're almost trying to pad themselves from feeling the emotional pain that they've been feeling, which is really sad. However, that doesn't have to be your reality. Like I've been talking about through this whole video, looking at the emotions, allowing them, identifying them, allowing them, resolving them within yourself, whether that's through therapy, journaling, anything that will help you resolve those, will surprise you when it comes to your diet. Once you resolve those things, and say that you've been on a strict diet, and first of all, a strict diet, and you feel miserable because you're watching all these other people drink and eat and enjoy themselves, and you can't enjoy yourself. Ugh. No, not for me. However, if you've been on a strict diet and you are finding that the weight is not coming off, or that it's coming off really slowly, like you're only losing 1 pound every 3 weeks, or something that would make sense with you and your nutritionist or whatever plan you're working on, look at the emotions that you do not want to feel. It might be really difficult. You might need to be guided with someone, a professional, to help you, but you can get through it, and watch the weight will come off all of a sudden. Surrender any guilt or shame that you have about your body. A lot of people go about their life and they're criticizing their body, criticizing themselves. You're just literally sending messages to your body that you're not good enough, you don't deserve to be your goal weight, you don't deserve to have this, you're ugly, all of this stuff. Stop. Just be conscious of what you're saying. Be your best hype person you can be. Like when I look in the mirror, I have like some acne right now because my liver needs assistance. But when I look in the mirror, I'm like, girl, you have perfect skin. Perfect skin. You look amazing. I used to be such a biatch to myself. No, I don't do that anymore. All love right here. Not only do I feel better, but my body and skin respond to that just as yours will. And it makes a huge difference in how you interact. And it makes a huge difference, not only in your weight, but your skin, your hair, your health. So be your best hype person. And if you need help hyping yourself up, find an accountability partner, find a therapist, find a naturopathic doctor, schedule a one-on-one with me. The link is below. And yeah, all of this stuff takes time. So be really, really gentle with yourself as you're working through this process. You're undoing so much conditioning in your life, and that is amazing. And I am so proud of you just for even admitting that you have that work to do for yourself. So thank you for tuning into my video. I am sending you lots of joy and love because you deserve it.